Freunde des FeverTalks, heute habe ich mir Bobby Lashley zum Interview eingeladen. Bobby, it's a pleasure for me to have you here on the German podcast FeverTalk.
Thank you, thank you.
We have now some minutes and we hope we can do the best of it. Okay, I hope you understand my English.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, I try my best.
I can figure it out.
You have a special bond to Germany, yes?
Well, my dad was in the Army, and when I was in the 2nd grade through 5th grade, we lived in Nuremberg. Just had so much vivid memories of it. So when I had an opportunity to come back, that was one of the first places that we went to go visit. So I got to go see the apartment that we were actually staying, the school I went to, and just got to drive around the area. So it was an incredible experience.
Home feeling here?
Oh yeah. I like German. I can still speak a little bit. I know a little bit of German.
This is the next question. How many words you can speak in German?
I can still count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can I know little stuff like was ist das, das ist ein. I still know a little bit of German.
Okay.
And this is stuff that I learned when I was in the 2nd grade, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, 5th grade also.
Wie heißt du?
Not high school.
No, wie heißt du? What's your name?
Oh,
in German, you know?
Yes. I know just little bits and pieces.
Okay, how are you? Wie geht's?
Wie geht's?
In German, wie geht's?
Yes.
The answer is good.
Great.
Okay, so we let the German part?
Yeah.
Okay. You started with amateur wrestling and you started to be interested in wrestling in the early age. How it comes?
Well, I was in amateur wrestling and I was really successful. I went to college. I won nationals 3 times in college. And then afterwards, I went to Olympic Training Center and I took 2nd at the Worlds. And I was getting ready to qualify for the Olympic team. I was getting ready to do the tournament for the Olympic team. And at that time, I was training at the Olympic Training Center. And Kurt Angle actually came there. They were shooting a vignette for WWE at the time. And Kurt saw me. It's the first time I actually met Kurt. And he was like, man, you got a great look. He said, you ever think about pro wrestling? I was a big pro wrestling fan, but I didn't know how to get into it. I didn't know the process of doing it. He was like, yeah, look, I'm going to pass your number on and hopefully you guys can talk and maybe you get an opportunity to come there.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, this is great. So Kurt and I talked for a little bit, and then I started talking to Gerald Briscoe and Dr. Tom Pritchard at the time.
And that was your ticket to WWE?
No. Well, it was kind of my ticket because at the time I was still getting ready to go for the Olympic team. So I told them that I couldn't do anything for at least another year. So they said, well, you know, we really want you to come, but if you got to wait, then we'll try back in a few months or something. And crazy story, I was actually in a bank. I was walking into a bank and a guy kicked open the door and shot. And he shot like right at me to the back of my head. And I mean, the bullet barely missed me. I kind of looked over, the bullet went right over my shoulder. I took a dive down to the ground and I ended up splitting my knee open. I still have the scar from it. It's a pretty nasty scar.
Holy shit.
But from here to here. And I landed on the floor, basically almost concrete floor.
Okay.
Split my knee open and it ended my amateur wrestling career. So I had to go through surgery. I had to go through 2 surgeries to fix my knee. And the WWE didn't know about it, but they started calling me back when I was recovering. And they were like, you want to come for the tryout? And it was kind of one of those deals, one door closed, which my amateur wrestling, it closed because I couldn't go to the Olympic trials tournament because of the surgery. And then I was getting a knock on the door from WWE at the time. So I said, yeah, but I didn't tell them about my knee. I just kept rehabbing and I kept trying to push off the date where I had to go for the tryout. And then finally they said, look, if you want to come, you have to come now. So I basically just went for the tryout. And I mean, it was a week of torture for me because I had to fake being okay when I had this injury, when I had a severe injury.
A lot of pain.
Yeah. And then after I left the tryout, they called me up and they offered me a contract. So it's kind of...
Kurt Angle opened the door, yes?
Yes, he did.
Great guy.
Oh yeah.
What can you tell me about Kurt?
I love Kurt. I think you know, Kurt's one of those guys where he kind of took a back seat to everything right now. But I still think Kurt's probably the best wrestler in the game right now. I mean, he's great on the mic. He's a great wrestler. Every one of his matches, it doesn't matter if he wrestles the best person on the roster or somebody that never even wrestled before. He can go out there and have a great match every time.
He can bring the best out of everyone.
Everyone. I think Kurt's incredible. You know, the one thing is that me and Kurt, our histories are just right by each other. He amateur wrestling. He was a national champion in college. I was a few years after him. I won nationals in college. He went to the Olympic Training Center, won an Olympic gold medal. I went to the Olympic Training Center at that time. My career was cut a little bit short. He was in WWE. I went into WWE. Soon after I got in WWE, he went to TNA. And then after that, I went to TNA. And then, so our careers kind of mirrored each other to an extent. I mean, he was at a higher level in a couple of different areas where WWE and then with TNA, but we were just kind of right behind each other. And I always kind of looked up to Kurt. It's just that the one thing that I haven't done was wrestled Kurt.
How do you remember the times at WWE? Maybe the first pay-per-view, the match against Simon Dean, maybe, or the Royal Rumble?
I remember all.
Okay.
It happened so quick. You know, I went from sitting on a couch, nursing an injury, to being in just, lack of better terms, I mean, stardom. That's what WWE is. I mean, huge stage. And I think it's one of those things where when you go into WWE, some people have it and some people don't. And when you go in there, it's how the crowd reacts to you. It doesn't matter if you're the greatest wrestler, greatest on the mic, greatest this, greatest that. None of those things come into play. It's how the crowd takes to you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And when I first came out, the crowd really took to me. So they kind of just put the rocket into my ass. And it was every step of the way, something new, something better was happening. It went from working with Simon Dean, which was crazy. Simon Dean was one of the first people that actually trained me. And then when I got into WWE, he and I had to wrestle each other.
So he's the best guy to bring you over?
At the time.
At this time, yes, of course.
Yeah.
He was your first opponent, I think.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So from there, I mean, we had a very fun match. I got to shove cheeseburgers in his mouth and make him eat a whole bunch of cheeseburgers. So that was a good experience. And then from there, it just kind of went.
So you like the entertainment part?
Yeah. Especially now. Before I was so trained to shut up and wrestle. That's what amateur wrestling does to you. It's like grind, and keep your mouth closed and respect your opponent. And when I came into WWE, that's kind of the same mentality I had. Everybody's like, grab the microphone. That's not me. I don't grab the microphone. My coaches always said, you keep your eye on the prize, you keep going, you keep moving forward, you keep training, you keep hustling, you keep going. And that's all I did.
But you still have that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have that respect. And as I got a little bit older into the game, I started realizing, okay, let's start bringing the fans into it. And especially now, I had an opportunity to do a lot of independent promotions. And when I do the independent promotions, those give me an opportunity to really just have fun with the crowd and just enjoy wrestling.
Do you like the near contact with the fans?
Yeah.
Now?
Oh yeah. I'm the type of guy, and if anybody ever met me, they would know if they came to a WWE event, I was the guy outside after the event, shaking hands, taking pictures, and signing autographs.
Like RVD.
Always did that. Yeah, always did that. So I was always really close to the fans. I always understood that those fans are the reason why I have the position that I am in. So I always give back to my fans.
The fans made you.
Yep.
Yes?
Absolutely.
You have been undefeated for a long time, you know?
You know what? The one thing about John is, this day and age, people don't do it the same way he did it. Like, he's a bad guy. A lot of times people take that bad role, but they still want to be the good guy, bad guy. They still want to go out and shake hands and sign autographs. Those are for the good guys. When I wrestled JBL, everyone hated him. And he was never that guy that would come out and give high fives and everything like that. He was in his character all the time.
Okay.
All the time. So whenever I wrestled him, it was the easiest match to have, because when he'd get out there and he'd grab that microphone and tell people how much he disliked them and everything else, it didn't matter who came out of the curtain. They just wanted him to get shut up. And it was me, so that was always great. And then the time when I did lose, I mean, it was a time where they said, we want revenge. So it was great when they have people like that understand the wrestling business and understand what role they're supposed to be in and how to play that role.
You won the US title from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take it.
Took it from him.
From the bad guy.
Yes.
How they accept you in the locker room when you came in as a new guy?
I think for some of the guys, some guys that came up around the same time that I came up, when they came in the locker room, they took a little heat. I mean, the guys were a little hard on them. They wanted to test them. And I think a lot of the guys, when I came in, they weren't so much trying to test me. They almost gave the respect to me from my amateur background. And I wasn't one of those guys that got razzed, that got brought down, and really, there was things in the ring time that a couple people that I was wrestling that would kind of check me to see where I was at. Maybe give you a good hard shot here or there, just to kind of see how I'd react to it. But I think everybody kind of respected me because they knew how hard I worked and how much I wanted it. And it showed in my work, it showed in my work ethics, it showed in my just respect for everyone else. I was the guy that came in and I make sure to shake everybody's hand, look you in the eye, and talk to you directly.
Respectful,
yeah. I was never one of those guys that would say anything behind your back. I was never one of those guys that were searching online. I was never one of those guys that would call the little wrestling sites and try to give like spoilers and different information. I was never those guys. I didn't even know that kind of stuff existed. So
today it's a big problem. Yes.
It's a big problem.
For the spoilers.
Because the guys are back, they're tweeting and texting and sending information out to everyone. And to me, I never get into that game. Because when I was a kid, when I was a fan growing up, I didn't want to know anything. Yeah. I wanted to just go there and be entertained. I didn't even want to, if I missed a pay-per-view, I didn't want somebody to tell me the outcome of the pay-per-view. I wanted to watch it. So I never would go online or anything like that or try to find out from the newspapers or the PW Insider. I never wanted to do any of that stuff. I just wanted to be entertained. And I think right now people are so impatient with wanting to know what's next, that they just take, and they kill the business for themselves.
Yes, but the guys also. They're tweeting.
Yeah, these guys are telling everything that's going on backstage and everything else, which...
Later you've been part of the new ECW. Do you ever watch the original one?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you like that stuff?
Yeah.
The hardcore things and like Sabu and Balls Mahoney do at this time?
Yeah, there's a place for everything in wrestling. I'm a part of the circus.
Yeah.
And with wrestling, you're going to have different fans that want different things, so you got to give them everything. You got to give the hardcore matches, you got to give the more technical matches, you got to give the high-flying matches.
Do you like this hardcore things,
I
personally?
like everything. Yeah, absolutely.
You will do it?
When I do it, I'm not going to kill myself so much.
Okay.
My place isn't there. When I say stay in your lane, that was not my lane, so I'm going to stay away from there. But if I did do some more hardcore things, like I jumped through the cage before and tipped over a car, tried to kill somebody. So I had some of those instances where it was a little more hardcore, but I leave the hardcore stuff up to the Sabus and the Dreamers and some of those guys.
What do you think about Tommy Dreamer? I met him some weeks ago. He's a very friendly and professional.
Yeah. Tommy's actually working backstage with us in TNA.
Okay.
So he's very knowledgeable. He's one of those guys that, we all try to help each other out in the game, and when you go out there and have a match, and when you come back, he's the type of guy that'll kind of say, hey man, you could have turned this way, or don't let anybody out wrestle you. Just give you little pointers.
Okay.
And not critique your whole match, because if somebody comes in and they give you so many different things in your match, and it's like giving you nothing. Because you're not going to be able to sit back after a match and absorb all this information. He'll just give you like one or two little things to kind of think about for your next time, so that each time you're going to get better. So Tommy, I think
it's enough.
Great. Yeah, it's enough. He's a great mind in the business.
Battle of Billionaires, the late Umaga and you.
Yes, that was instant chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah, instant chemistry. The first time we wrestled each other, I think it was in Mexico, and it was a time where I just got selected to be Donald Trump's representation, and they put me and Umaga just on the card just to see how it was going to be. And man, the crowd
they hate him.
Loved the match.
Yes.
Loved the match. So we went from being kind of the mid-card guys to right up to semi-main, and then we were that hot match that everybody wanted to see. And it just kept building. I think we had probably one of the best pull-aparts when we just went after each other. I mean, it was the easiest thing to do, and it was one of the best matches and the best people I've ever worked.
So you stole the show in Mexico?
I believe so.
Okay, it's great.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Which memories you have for Umaga?
It's hard because you try to, you don't try to, you just move on with life, and you understand that people come and go, and Umaga, I mean, I think he was a great, great, great person. I miss him a lot. He's one of those guys that would just call you up and just say, "Hey, what's going on, Oos?" and just joke around. And he was one of those guys that he would make sure that nobody was really in a bad mood, because there's no reason to be in a bad mood. He would always come and he'd have something to say. Oos, hey, just bring up the room, and just really subtle. I mean, there was not too much that he did. He wasn't a run around kind of guy. He's very laid back, and he was like, man, just enjoy things, and that's what I remember from him the most. It was like I never really seen him upset with anybody or anything. So,
how do you remember the Battle of Billionaires, the WrestleMania match, and shaving your boss head?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Oh, and they did that right. That was one thing that the writers really, really, really did that right. They really did that whole feud. And I think, a lot of times it's like, yeah, the writers did a great job, but Vince himself was a part of it, so he was going to make sure that they didn't do a bad job. Because there's some times where some things are questionable when you're going through it, but the way that they put things together there, and the way that our matches and the steam Vince was putting on, and coming after me, and Shane getting involved, and everything coming together, and it was probably, they couldn't have done a better job, I think. And then when it was time to deliver at WrestleMania, we delivered. I mean, I think everything was on point. Shane coming into the match, pulling his shirt off, and he's a referee. Stone Cold coming out there giving him a stunner. There was so much in.
I put a lot in this match.
It was a lot. It was a lot going.
So Stone Cold give McMahon a few days back a lot of stunners, and you shaved his head.
Yeah. Yep.
And you liked it.
I loved it.
What can you tell me about Donald Trump at this time?
He was good, man. He has his own natural character, and it's kind of that, I don't want to say tweener character. It's that good intentions guy.
Okay.
Like, Donald Trump has good intentions, so they're always going to put him as a good guy. But he comes across like some people where it's like, but he's a big wrestling fan. So
yeah.
That was really cool coming at him and working with him. And first of all, just meeting him was cool because he's such a widely known.
He's
figure.
friendly?
He's very friendly.
Okay.
Very friendly. Everybody asks me that about him because I guess they see his personality on TV where he's like, "You're fired," that kind of thing. They think that he's a little harsh or anything like that, but he's playing a character. Yeah. Him in real life, he really understands how to keep the Donald where the Donald's supposed to be and keep his name in the limelight and a positive view and put his hands in the right things and say the right thing.
He knows how to make money in business.
Yeah. You make money in business, but you further your career and you make your whole brand bigger when you do the things that he does and the way that he does it. So I mean, it was very good. It was cool learning from him. Just he's not one of those people that you're going to sit down and just pick his. I mean, for me, I didn't just pick his brain and okay, what'd you do here? What'd you do here? It wasn't like that. It was more. I'm a visual person, so I watch how he conducts himself. So to me, he was very, very professional, but you can tell he just had fun with it. And he had fun with the whole role that we were doing. He had fun with the whole build-up and the whole shaving the head part. He was having a lot of fun. So that was really cool to be a part of that.
You have an injury, and after 6 months they release you. Is that right?
No.
No?
No.
You have an injury after the
I had an injury that I kind of nursed for a few months afterwards. And then I was actually ready to go in I think the beginning of December. And at the beginning of December, so the Rumble was towards the end of January. This is kind of a story that I got to kind of veer around a little bit, but I was just
cut it. No problem.
No worries. I can talk. Certain people in the game, everybody that knew me knew what kind of person I was. I don't disrespect anyone. I don't let my emotions get the best of me in any situation. There was somebody in the business that just really didn't want me there, and he just made it very, very impossible for me. I tried to take all the different angles and different routes that I could, and just trying to solve the problem in a professional way, and it wasn't going to happen. This person, I don't know how he has this much power, but he has a lot of power. And it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then, in December, after I was finished with I was completely rehabbed with my injury and I was ready to come back. And this person just really was trying to make it impossible for me to come back. Oof. And I took the bigger route and I just said, look, I asked for my release.
Okay.
And that was one of those things where it's funny now that it's always like rise above hate and all kinds of different things like that. It wasn't one of the wrestlers by any means, but this is something that they're pushing right now, and this is something that I dealt with in there. That's why I don't know why.
It was not one of the guys.
It's not one of the wrestlers.
Okay.
But it was just one of those things where I just needed to step away. I loved wrestling, but I had to keep my morals and my standards and stand up for myself at the time.
So, do you think a comeback to WWE is impossible? This guy?
This person will make it impossible. I mean,
no. Do you think he's still?
Yeah, this person would make it impossible for me to come back.
You have a problem with you, do you think?
Yeah.
You don't know why.
And the crazy thing is that afterwards, I was around some of the guys, and one of the guys came to me and they said, I've heard a couple different stories that were told to the guys of why I asked for my release, and I was like one guy said that I was up at the corporate headquarters and I just went crazy and was effing this and effing that and yelling and everything like that, and I was like, I looked at the person that told me, I said, look man, you've known me for how long? When have I ever had that kind of emotion to the point where I'm yelling and screaming at people? I never do that. So the fact that you guys even believe a story like that is ridiculous. Then there was an article that came out sometime that said I was upset about my WrestleMania pay. Okay? Ridiculous also. We had WrestleMania in April. We usually get paid from a pay-per-view was in 2 to 3 months, sorry. A bigger pay-per-view like that. So it's April, May, June, July. I asked for my release in end of December.
Okay.
So if I was upset about a pay, why wouldn't I ask for my release at that time? As opposed to waiting another 6 months and then coming back and saying, wait a minute, back in April. So I said, think about that. The articles that you guys are writing are completely ridiculous. And I don't know who's trying to feature this information to bring me down, but good job, but it's stupid. So those were two of the things that I heard, and I was just like, look, I'm not talking about the situation because I said I can't. Don't put out something else that's completely BS and bogus and then try to make it seem like that's the reason. Let's just say I wanted to pursue something else, and that was fighting. And let's just stick with that.
Okay. So after WWE, you start with the MMA thing, or you go directly to TNA?
I did MMA, so I was fighting for a while.
But you were at AAA also, I think.
Yeah, I went to AAA, and then I mean I wrestled in Japan. I was doing Japan for years. I mean all the way since I left, I was going to Japan every couple months and wrestling for this promotion IGF down there. More of a work shoot kind of style. So more of a hardcore style. Not a hardcore style, but a more harder, physically like a fighting style.
Stiffer, huh?
Yeah, stiffer style. So I did that for a while, and then I did a couple indie promotions. And then the last couple of years, I mean, I really started picking up some of the indie stuff. I actually enjoyed it, so I was just having fun going out there. And I jumped into TNA, and when I was TNA, I was fighting at the same time. So I spent a little time in TNA while fighting. And then now I just started back with TNA about a month and a half ago, and it's been a good time. Like I like TNA right now because it's great for me right now because I have kids. I like to spend time with my kids. I'm a full-time dad. Single father, so it's 3.
3 kids?
Yeah,
I have 2.
All on my own.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, because my ex, she actually took off and decided to have fun and party and move to LA and do her own thing. So I stick back with the kids and I stay with my kids and
work for you and your family.
Yeah, and I do everything for my kids, and that's all I'm about. I put my kids before myself.
Great father.
Yeah.
Months ago you were in Qatar, yes, and you met Michael Kovac.
Yes. Yeah.
You know the pepperoni thing?
Yep.
Can you tell me the story, please?
Oh yes. Oh.
Tell me that story.
Yes.
Can you tell me, please, from your own words?
From where did we get that thing from?
Qatar.
But I'm saying I can't remember what restaurant it was.
I don't know.
Where was it? Oh damn it! We're gonna have to come back.
But
to
it
that
was
one.
very hot. You have tear in your eyes.
Yes,
you have tear in your
the
eyes.
hottest thing. Golly, what was it? Was it a piece of chicken? No, it was. We were eating, I know exactly where it was.
Okay.
We were at the mall, and we went through. We had this little. It was some super chicken or something like that. And then they put this little pepper next to it. And then I was like, "Man, is this pepper hot?" He goes, "No, it's not that hot." And I just took it and bit the whole thing, and I started crunching up. And as we're sitting there talking, it was like my entire body got on fire. It had to be the hottest thing that I've ever put in my mouth. It was insane. I just started sweating, tears coming down my eyes. I was trying to push anything in my face and my mouth just to calm myself down and cool myself down. It was crazy.
It was a very hot thing?
Yes.
How do you remember Michael Kovac?
Well, I didn't get a chance to work it myself. Somebody else did, and they
Okay.
said that he was simply incredible. I guess he's very, very high level, very top notch. I watched some of his match, and he was one of those guys that I wish I had an opportunity to wrestle.
So you start with TNA,
Yes.
main event Mafia. At the first time,
Oh, the first time, yeah.
you start as heel.
No, I was supposed to be a main event Mafia.
Yes.
They
So-
brought me in for main event Mafia, and Kurt was saying that he had this big surprise come out, and I came out, and it was like Nash, Booker, Kurt. They were all standing in the ring, their suits on, ready to go. I come in, Kurt's like, "Yeah, Bobby, ready?" And goes to shake my hand. I was like, "Nope," and I just clean house on everybody in the ring.
Okay.
And then from there, I kind of had a feud with Scott Steiner and just a couple other guys, but I think it was originally planned that I was supposed to be a part of Main Event Mafia, and the things kind of got turned right at the last second, which was cool with me. And I thought that was going to be an opportunity that me and Kurt were going to actually wrestle, but they kept us apart, and I did stuff with Samoa Joe and everyone.
Joe is also a great talent. Yeah?
Joe was phenomenal.
Yes. Like AJ. You
Yes.
miss him these days?
Yeah. All those guys over there are good, man. I like TNA. TNA is like that. The reason why I like TNA so much is because one, it's got more of a laid back atmosphere, and then two, because the guys are really laid back and they're really cool, and everybody's good.
It's easier.
And it's easy to work with. There's
Yes.
no egos. There's no feeling that you have to cut somebody down to get a step up.
No backstepping.
No, everybody just kind of thinks, hey, we're all here to try to do something, and that's to make a promotion and make a production that's actually good and fun for people to watch. And this is what I try to tell wrestling fans, because everybody thinks that they have to have an opinion or be a critic on everything. And I say it like this. There's so many guys that are out there that are trying to work and try to get work and trying to get a job that I wish people would support TNA, support Ring of Honor, support WWE, support all the promotions out there. Because in the end of the day, if these promotions are doing well, then more guys are going to have an opportunity to wrestle and work.
Yes.
Whereas some of these dummies that are online, they're like, TNA are going to go under. They're not good. There's not this. It's like,
What do you
why are
think about the
doing that?
future?
The future is going to be good. We have a lot
Okay.
of good things going. I mean,
Okay.
right now they have a lot of good momentum going. There's going to be the naysayers and the haters out there, but those people are ruining the wrestling business as a whole, which is stupid. Like today, you're going to see so many of these guys, like Andy, the guy I'm working tonight. Man, he's great. He has a great following. He's a great champion. People love him here. He should be on the main stage, but there's only 2 right now. If TNA does well, then another company is going to step up and they're going to be up there. If we had 5 or 6 different wrestling promotions, then what the fans get to do is they have more opportunities to watch all these different shows. Because right now it seems like WWE, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, anything, it's all just the same guys.
Yes.
Before, when I was in WWE, it was like SmackDown was their own roster. Raw was their own roster. Now it seems like everything's just kind of blended.
Yeah.
So even though they have those different shows, it's just the same guys. So there's not opportunities to fill any of those other roles or fill any of those other shows. So the only other show is TNA, and then you have Ring of Honor. So if you only have those shows, then it's not giving that many opportunities for people to come out there and work. Now, if TNA starts doing well, maybe TNA can offer another show and start bringing some more guys in, getting them on TV, and having them do stuff. So these people that are on the internet that are doing these negative comments or just thinking that, oh, I'm gonna get my little 2 seconds of fame by trash talking Dixie or trash talking TNA or trash talking anybody from on the TNA roster, what they're doing is they're bringing down the wrestling business as a whole instead of hyping it up. Don't look at the things that you don't want. Go after the things you do like, because regardless of what show it is, there's going to be something or someone or something about it that you like. So just look at that and build that up. So we all can work, and these guys that are doing the independents here can take that step up and then get up to the next level and actually make some money and support their families. So they don't have to work a full-time job and then try to do independent wrestling on the side.
You own a gym?
Yes.
Yes. Still? And do you still sell smoothies?
Everybody asks me about the smoothies. I still have that business. My main focus is on my gym.
Okay.
We do MMA training for everyone. I have a lot of kids. I'm big on kids right now because I believe everybody needs the opportunity to do something. And we do stuff like cardio, kickboxing. We do everything else in the gym. Jiu-jitsu is big in our gym. I do strength conditioning and all kinds of stuff. It's about a 5,000 square foot gym right now, and we just have fun.
Months ago, I saw on YouTube a video in the gym with you and the boogeyman.
Yes.
Lights on, lights out. A funny thing. How did this happen? Who had this crazy idea?
It was we wanted to do some off the wall marketing of our gym.
Okay.
And what the concept was because Boogeyman was working at my gym. He was personal training people.
Okay.
And what the concept is that I was telling people, I was like, man, if there's no other reason to get in shape, it would be for the fact of the zombie apocalypse, or if you were chased by somebody. If you're not in shape, then you're not going to be able to get away. So we just kind of started there, and we were like, what things do we do in the gym that we can use as a show of trying to get away? And we were just in the gym. He and I were working out, and then he got into character. We were like, all right, let's just start doing some complete unnecessary just BS. And then from there, we just did the video, and now it has almost 2 million views. And it was just a joke video, and it just kind of blew up. So once we get back into, we did 2 videos, and we're going to do some more. What the concept was stay alert, stay in shape, stay alive.
Okay.
That's what it was. And then, so I was running from the boogeyman. I got on an exercise bike, and I got on a treadmill, and I was punching the mitts, and then we did some ladder drills, and then after that I just started running.
It was crazy. I have a lot of fun to see this at this time. Yes.
Yeah, so it just turned to fun. But then Boogeyman is just an incredible character, so it was just easy just to kind of work with him.
Do you have some last words for the German fans?
Yeah, for me, it's not about money when it goes to traveling and wrestling anymore. To me, I just want to go to as many places right now as I can and be able to visit the world on another stage. Before I was at WWE and I traveled all over the world, but everything was so quick. It was here, there, it was gone. Now it's more of, I like to go different places and just meet people. When I got here, I didn't want to go to sleep. I was like, man, I just want to go around, meet people. I want to just work. I'm not a big partier or anything like that, but I like to just go walk the streets. I just walk the streets and just interact with people. Yeah, and try to learn the language enough to almost communicate with people and just kind of see how people are. I'm not one of those guys that go online and post about things I have. I rather talk about places I've been and people I've come into contact with. So right now, I love Germany, especially the fact that I used to live here. So hopefully I'd be able to have an opportunity to come out and wrestle some more of these promotions and to be able to hit some different areas in Germany. And by all means, if anybody comes up, because sometimes people see me on TV, they're like, man, he's a big guy and I'm a little timid. But no, man, if you see me anywhere for the German fans or anybody else around, come up to me, shake my hand, talk to me. I love to talk. So that's me.
So do you know the German words for thank you?
Danke, Dankeschön.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Bitteschön. Some different areas in Germany, and by all means, if anybody comes up, because sometimes people see me on TV, they're like, man, he's a big guy and I'm a little timid. But no, man, if you see me anywhere for the German fans or anybody else around, come up to me, shake my hand, talk to me. I love to talk. So that's me.
So do you know the German words for thank you?
Danke, Dankeschön.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you. Bitteschön.